Run it. What's going on, guys? Today we're going to run it back to the basics in the Bitcoin. But before we get into it, obviously don't forget to like, sub. If you think any part of the video or the full thing is informative, or you just want to strike up a discussion, throw something in the comments, we'll find it. We'll check it out. We'll report on it for the next video.
Hell yeah. Make
Eddie,
sure to share this video with everybody you know. It really helps grow the channel to a degree you wouldn't understand. It really helps. And you can inform your family members and friends on the certain topic we're talking about. Today it's Bitcoin. Tomorrow it may be Joe Biden lives in the moon. All right.
a lot of
So
breaking footage.
what have we been seeing in the last few weeks with Bitcoin so far? Because it looked like it was coming up. Like back in the May peak, it went up to like $60,000, 67, 66, something like that. It went up quite a bit, but then it crashed down with the whole Tesla news and everything. And I think it seems to be that they're trying to do like a like washing of the coins. You know what I mean? Like they tell everybody to buy it up, and then
Same thing that
eventually
happened
everybody
with
gets out.
Doge. So it always has something to do with Tesla.
What? What do you mean?
Just like Doge and Elon. Not necessarily Tesla.
No, dude. Look, Doge has a market cap.
Bitcoin.
Doge has a tiny market cap compared to Bitcoin. You can't even compare. Like it's like a pea
It's like
compared to
one,
the
not even a
Empire
cent
State
yet.
Building. Like no, in market cap, like the size is incomparable. Tesla announced that they weren't going to allow taking Bitcoin anymore because of environmental concerns back in May, and that caused a free fall effect. The thing is, right now we have a lot of leverage that we didn't have before. Like we had leverage in the last bull run, and even before the last bull run, there was a couple of exchanges that had leverage like up to 2x. But right now we're seeing like 100x leverage futures and stuff. So like if one little bad news like Tesla isn't accepting anymore, like we could see like a big correction. You know what I mean? A lot of people are leveraged up. So I
Maybe
think,
you should explain in like one or two sentences what the leverage is.
well, leverage is basically you'll see it in your crypto exchange, be it that you have Binance or KuCoin, or I think Binance, KuCoin. I think Kraken might have futures as well. But you'll see like futures or something, and basically trading on margin and like stuff like that is like you'll basically say like, okay, give me 5 times my money to trade with, right? So if the price goes up 1%, right, it actually went up 5% for me. You know what I mean? Because I have 5 times the money that they lent me. But if the price goes down 1%, I'm actually down like 6%, right? So it's good, right? But it's a lot of risk. And the problem is if it goes down a lot, and your initial money that you put in isn't enough to cover the losses of the loan, right? You get liquidated, and then that creates a free fall effect because it puts a huge sell order, 5 times the amount of your money sell order, right? So if everybody
Now we're
has
seeing an
100x,
uptrend.
200x, 300x like leverage positions, what ends up happening is a little drop like the Tesla thing, and then we see a red line that is like out of this world that just keeps on going down no matter what, and it's because of the leverage. And that's what we saw with Tesla and all these things. And I think because this isn't technically like, this is like a gray zone, the whole future shit. Like it's not like, I don't know how legal this is for exchange, like not as in people using it, but as in exchanges offering this, right? So it seems to be that banks and like US regulators are like not caring about the one thing that is causing insane volatility in the crypto market. Like they could, and they're like arguing with like kind of saying that they're going to ban it, but kind of no. Like just right now they said they have no intention to ban any crypto. Like that just came out. That's why it started pumping here in the start of October. But I mean, then why haven't they just banned futures and then they fix all this whole problem? I think what they're doing is they know
They're putting it off
they're
because
using
they
it.
don't know, they don't have a plan to deal with it yet. The big banks are saying, oh, it's going to be regulated.
No,
And
we're talking about futures, G. Like with futures,
oh,
like the margin. If they could get rid of that, and then the volatility would be gone, and then all of their concerns legally would be gone, right? But they don't get rid of it because they can use it, so they can predict the market up and down and then wash people's coins away. So they tell you to buy when it's about to crash, and then they tell you to sell when it's about to fucking pump. Like they were saying, every time it starts going down, sell, sell, sell. But it'll go back up. Like nobody has lost money holding Bitcoin for 4 years. And that's the thing. Right now, here's the problem, Joe. Okay? If you are a bank, okay, and you have $100 trillion, okay, in gold stacks, okay? If there were to be like a real catastrophic event, okay, that happens, and we just saw COVID, okay? So like something that crazy, but like be it not a virus and be it like a world attack, like some country wants to start a world war.
Nuclear war or EMP, maybe.
I don't know. Something like some crazy shit, dude. Civil disorder worldwide. Everybody just starts killing everybody, okay? How are you going to protect that gold? How are you going to transport that gold? Like it just becomes a big ass issue, right? So I think banks and a lot of institutions are starting to realize that it's not necessarily a good idea to keep your money in gold, especially if shit really does hit the fan, because you wouldn't be able to transfer it. And the thing with Bitcoin is that all you have to do is remember this phrase, right? You can remember it or write it down or inscribe it into a fucking metal piece, right? And the money's there, dude, and nobody can take it, and it's just there. Like it's insane what you can do that. It's crazy, dude. Like the power of that. So I think banks are starting to realize that, and I think they're starting to do like really heavy market manipulation things. Like I'm talking, they have teams and shit. Like we see this with the FTX US, the exchange. They literally control the market right now. Like you see if you go there's like a buy order tracker for global, like all the exchanges, and you can see like $10.5 million order, 10.5, all of them come from FTX. So it seems to be that they're manipulating it for their own good. And why are they doing it? Well, because it's the new gold. And I'm just saying, if Bitcoin becomes the world reserve currency, so you divide, 21 million Bitcoins, right? You divide that between 7 billion people. You would need like 0.01 Bitcoin to be the top 1% of wealth, which is crazy.
So I'm getting mixed messages. Sometimes the banks encourage their customers to buy Bitcoin, but on the news they'll say not to buy Bitcoin. But what other option do we really have? I mean, look at the state of the dollar right now. How much longer do you really think the dollar can hold on for? But then again, you have countries.
Bitcoin, bro.
Then you have other countries like China who just flat out banned it, just straight canceled.
Well, yeah,
you're
obviously
done. It's illegal.
A country like China that is, authoritarian and communist, the last thing they need is Bitcoin. And also the other thing is that, well, they don't really need the law anymore. The people who have like Bitcoin, okay, China banned Bitcoin, right? Like they banned Bitcoin.
It's illegal now.
But China owns like fucking like 40% of all Bitcoins. like how is it illegal? Like
that much illegal. Gold too.
They banned mining of Bitcoin. Like they have a shit ton.
So now they can just disperse at will.
They don't even care. They've been mining for like since a long time ago. They have Bitcoins until you can throw up. China is like they're going to be a world superpower very soon. They already are. Like legally, like they are the number one country, but they're going to be something even more insane soon, in my prediction. But here's the thing. I think we're about to see one of the craziest rises in Bitcoin history, like ever. I think we're about to enter a bull run of multiple years of mass adoption where there's going to be a shit ton of manipulation. But if we're talking like if you buy it to start and sell at the end, you're going to be making like a million X. Like
they're predicting 200K by 2024. So I mean, anything that you hold now,
bro, like, we're going to be at 500K at the end of this cycle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't have that much time to wait.
But it's not about waiting. It's about like math, right? If we see the same cycle that we saw in 2013 right now, that would put us at like $500,000 per Bitcoin. Like that's if we do the exact same thing. So 200,000, that would be a low ball estimate for 2024, when by 2022 we should be at 500,000 if we do the exact same move we did before, which history tends to, rhyme, not be the same, but it could be up more or less. And we're seeing things that we never saw before, like institutions are buying, banks are buying, like those are things that we have never seen before in Bitcoin. It could really start a really big rise. We have a country that now runs on Bitcoin.
A couple, right?
No, just El Salvador, but it runs, like it literally runs on Bitcoin.
Oh, solely?
Yeah. Like they
Some
use the
countries
dollar
adopted
too,
it,
but
of
they
course, but
use the
yeah.
dollar too, but the base currency is Bitcoin. That's the thing. Like the dollar, you convert Bitcoin for dollar to do, like if you want a dollar. But the if you don't accept Bitcoin in El Salvador, it's illegal. You have to accept Bitcoin. It's a legal tender in El Salvador.
Is there any credit and loan options with Bitcoin, or is it just simple transactions?
What do you mean?
I feel like that would ruin it if they loan you Bitcoin.
What do you mean?
Not possible, right?
Of course they can lend you Bitcoin. But like
With interest?
yeah, that's like that doesn't you can lend gold with interest.
True. So what should the people be focused on then?
I
Buying Bitcoin in order to keep the banks from buying it all up.
Well, no, the banks are gonna buy it all up regardless of what you do or don't
Yeah, that's
do.
true.
It's
Once everyone sells.
No, well, people aren't all gonna sell. The majority of people are going to buy and sell and ride their way up, and they may make a little bit of money, but they're not gonna be seeing like real generational wealth. Most people, they see their money go up 10x and they quit. I had $100, now I have $1,000. I can use those $1,000 to buy what? Like what can you
To
realistically
consume.
what can you realistically do with $1,000 that is not like fully consumed? Like you can't buy a
Just
car,
pay some rent or
you can't
something,
buy
but
a
then
house. Like you can pay a little bit of your rent, but you already have a job that's supposed to cover that. If your job doesn't cover that, you should be working on finding a job that does cover that. You know what I mean?
well, that's the thing with Bitcoin and every other trade in the stock market or whatever. You should never play with scared money that you're afraid to lose. It should always be like a savings account, money that you're not afraid to lose.
You should always invest what you're willing to lose, and that's why I say like it wouldn't hurt to grab like most people grab already subconsciously. Like the majority of people don't even do budgeting or any of those like real things to see what's going on with your money. So realistically, like I would say 70% of people have 10% of their money that they just throw away on bullshit. Like be it a little candy here and there or something, like just dumb shit, because they're not budgeting and they're just like just buying randomly, like whenever they want to buy something, right? And if you were to put on a planner and do all your things, you would have like 20% extra money that like you just have extra lying around that you're not spending on dumb shit, right? And you could use that money and grab 5% of that and just throw it into Bitcoin every month. Just throw and forget about it forever. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what you should really do, because Bitcoin is the most scarce asset. I like, mark my words, if right now you start and you work at McDonald's, bro, and you like obviously you live with your parents, let's say you live with your parents, you worked at McDonald's and like you paid a little bit of rent, whatever, but most of your money went to saving and you would put it all into Bitcoin from now until like 2050.
Cost
I can
averaging.
assure you would be a billionaire by 2050. Like a billionaire, bro.
2050.
Yeah.
Heard it here first. 2050.
If mass adoption happens, here's the thing. If mass adoption happens, one Bitcoin could be worth $1 quadrillion. There's only 29 million Bitcoin. If it becomes the world reserve currency,
21 million?
Yeah, there will never be more. And there's probably less because people forget their wallet and then those Bitcoins are lost forever. So
And those little pieces add up.
So it's certainly or 21 million, which I don't think so, because I know at least one person that lost their wallet, so it can't be 21 million anymore. So it's like,
Can't imagine.
If nobody lost it, it'd be 21 million. But if it was, I would say it's more like 20 million, or probably less. I'd say it's like 17 million.
17,
Plus,
18, 19 and change.
no, I think because they've also haven't printed all of them, but I think there's at least 2 or 3 million coins that have disappeared. No, there's gotta be more, dude. Like when Bitcoin just started, dude, how many millions of people bought like $1 and just threw it away? Like that's why I'm so obsessive about this, because the supply is infinitely lowering as people fucking lose their fucking like cards and stuff.
Forget that password.
Well, you forget the seed phrase, bro. Dude, that's insane. And then, okay, so 21 million divided by 7 billion human beings, okay? If you have 1 Bitcoin, you have 1 21 millionth of the world of wealth. Dude, okay, with $50,000, okay? Think about how much money there is in the world. Think about when you look at a parking lot, okay?
Yeah.
You look at a parking lot. Each car in there is at least 10 grand, let's say. If there's 10 cars, that's $100,000. If there's 100 cars, that's $1 million, right? Think about a parking lot, Disneyland parking lot, okay? Fucking hundreds of cars. And a lot of them don't cost 10 grand. They cost 20 grand, 60 grand, okay? Think about that. Think how much wealth there's in that fucking parking lot, okay? Now think the world, okay? If you had 1 Bitcoin, which right now is $47,000, which is a lot of money, but it's not life-changing wealth, right? If you had 1 Bitcoin right now, and Bitcoin becomes the world reserve currency, you have 1/21 millionth of the world's worth. Okay? So there's definitely more than 29 parking lots, right? Right? Think about dividing the world in 29 million pieces, and you get one of those. 21 million. And imagine that a lot of people also forget their keys, so it's less. You would have unimaginable wealth if you had 1/21 millionth of the world's wealth.
Precisely. So here's what I think the issue is right now. I think people don't realize the state of the dollar, and at the same time, they don't realize the potential that Bitcoin has to offer. Because, I mean, the dollar's been on a downward trend for who knows how long. Probably ever since the Fed was instated.
Since the 1970s.
Yeah, so
real money became fake money.
Exactly. So you said before, no one's ever lost money from holding Bitcoin for 4 years. So the next 4 years, I'd give it till, I predict 2030 until the dollar's gone.
Well,
I would say straight up, the paper will be gone.
Happen. We don't know what's going to happen soon, because with the whole COVID situation, the economic things we have done, like the economic policies we have passed, like printing money, you know, like more than I think we printed like 2/3 of all of the supply, like 2/3 of all of the supply of dollars there is in the whole world. Okay, was like minted since 2020. So
yeah, like
we
2
could
years
see
ago.
some really intense inflation soon, right? We're seeing the stock market crash every month now on the 11th, and now it's on the 7th as well. It's like right now it's the 5th. In 2 days, if it crashes, heard it here first. But I'm just saying,
October's the month.
not like a big crash, but it crashes a little bit. Like it crashes like a little bit, and then they print back up, you know, because they can't let it fall.
Well, maybe a crash is what has to happen for people to adopt the Bitcoin.
Well, that's the thing. That's why they're manipulating right now, because they don't want that to happen, because then that would be the biggest exchange of wealth of all time.
And that's why you gotta like, comment, share, subscribe, and storable food to this channel, because we'll keep you up to date in where the circle and the waves and the cycles are going. You gotta stay ahead of the game. Buy Bitcoin now before you're scrambling. Storable food now before you're scrambling. Just in case. You know, it's not always a volcano or a storm or something. Could be this in disguise incognito. Small attacks, small changes, small movements. The market, no one can predict it. That's why I gotta stay ahead of it.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, the thing is, I don't know. Like the U.S. stock market is nowadays, like, it's all fake money. Like it's so injected with with different government like print scams, like be it like the bond scam where they like buy government bonds and they print these, and that's
All these
how they make their
scams,
cash.
bro.
And then they use that money to buy like stocks and inject fake money into an economy, right? Like all those things are gonna have real big like problems coming soon, and we don't know when, but we know it will, and we know they can't let it happen, because if it does happen, then everybody will have two options: either you buy Bitcoin or you become poor. And then we'll see the biggest transfer of wealth of all time, where banks become like 1/30th less powerful, like immediately and stuff like that, and they can't allow that. So
No.
they prop up the economy, they make all these fake bullshits, they pump and dump Bitcoin, accumulating as many coins as possible and locking them away on these accounts that'll never be accessed ever again. And that's what literally what we're seeing right now. They buy up a shit ton, they crash it again. A bunch of people sell. They buy up a shit ton, they crash it again. Do you see what I mean? And they're just accumulating.
Right, they're doing that to move into the Bitcoin.
Well, yeah,
I think a lot of people are like losing trust in these big companies now. Everything that happens, everything that these companies do, like Facebook and stuff like that, and the stock market in general. You know, if people hear stock market has a crash, when do they really ever hear that Bitcoin has a crash?
The U.S. economy is going to crash. And that Bitcoin has crashes all the time. If you hold Bitcoin, you're gonna endure crashes. Your life is going to be crashes. But the crashes are not going to be more than the pumps. And
yeah, they're not as monumental as like a stock market crash.
No, well,
because it's not built in yet.
Well, the stock market crash is way less than Bitcoin, like by a huge margin, bro. It's just this one time that they stopped, like the first time in history we stopped the world economy, like just stopped it, like ever in the history of life. First time that it ever happened was now. So we're going to see consequences from that. It's not like that stocks are bad. Like Facebook has no fucking influence on what happens to their stock. Like they have no they don't choose how much their stock price goes. Like that's how much the market decides. The market decides. The market's beautiful. The stock market's good as fuck. I like it. But the thing is, not right now. I don't have the balls to be in the stock market. Like it's too like risky, bro. It could tomorrow, dude. Fucking China could do some crazy shit, dude, and crash the U.S. Like it's a total real possibility, dog. So I think we're gonna end it off there. But make sure to buy.
China might go to war tomorrow. And you know what war means.
What does it mean?
Hopefully we won't find out. Hopefully we won't find out, and we won't have to comment on it in the next video. But don't forget to like and sub.
What does war mean? I actually don't know.
War means cash, buying it up, pennies on the dollar.
What?
The banks love war.
Why?
Because they get to send out these loans and with high interest. Everybody's spending guap.
What?
For the interest of guap. Look at every world.
That's not why banks like wars. They like wars because they lend money to fucking gun manufacturers, which then they would make money off of that loan. But the bank doesn't necessarily win off that. Governments like wars. They love it because it empowers their economy. But it doesn't. Banks don't necessarily have a say. Banks have the same power regardless. They don't give a fuck. They control everything. But all right, boys, we'll end it off there.
Don't forget, store with food, like and sub, comment and share. Boys.